What's up, everybody? This is Josh here with Slightly Compulsive, and today we have another knife to unbox. This one is a DLT exclusive. It is a Para 3 in 20 CV steel. So when I saw this one online, it really caught my eye. I've had a PM2, Paramilitary 2 before, and the reason I don't really carry it that often is because it's a little bit large. As many of you know, it's sort of a larger knife. Not that there's anything wrong with the PM2, of course. It's just that I really wanted to check out a Para 3 because it just seems more like a EDC friendly knife. Now, on a side note, I have sold my PM2. I do plan on getting another one here in the future, but I did sell the one that I've had in the previous videos here. So I don't have one to compare side by side with this one. However, I do have a Shaman that I'll show you guys. I'm sure many of you already have a Shaman or have messed around with one before for size reference, and I also have my Benchmade Bug Out, which is another very common EDC knife that I'll compare to just to get sort of a size reference. But with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and open this up and get into it. So right off the bat, looking at these scales, I really enjoy the color. The website here, let's see. The website here is calling this a tan G10, and I don't know if there's a little bit of a difference between each knife that gets sent out, and the color is not really coming off on camera quite well, but this to me doesn't really seem like tan. I mean, it is tan, but it's almost like a grayish tan with as seen with like the naked eye, not really the camera. On the camera here that I'm looking at, it kind of looks like it might even be a little bit more green. But that's not what I'm seeing here in my office as I hold this knife. But yeah, here's the knife. I mean, my medium large grip, it fits really well in my hand, unlike the PM2 where when I held the handle, there was a lot sticking out on either end. And so just kind of first impressions, this seems like it was exactly what I was looking for. This again has a 20 CV steel, which is a more premium steel offering, so that was something that really attracted me towards the knife, because to be honest, it wasn't even that much more expensive than some of the other Para 3s that I saw there out on the market. For just for your information, I paid $151.90 for the knife, and I think some of the other Para 3s that come with less premium steel, you could say, come in at the same price, and some of them even more, like the all black one that I was looking at originally. And so the reason I actually went with this one was because I figured I could save a few bucks and just have these G10 handles painted with like RIT dye. But as I got the knife, I realized I don't even want to make that change because I really am falling in love with this color here. I don't have a knife in this particular color, and I just think it looks really cool, especially up against the black DLC coated blade clip and hardware there. So let me give you some more information on size and that sort of thing. Which probably many of you already have seen a Paramilitary, well, I guess it's not called a Paramilitary 3, it's called a Para 3, but many of you have probably already seen a Para 3 if you haven't and you're not familiar with the dimensions. The overall length of this guy, and the action's really nice by the way, but the overall length of this guy is going to be 7.24 inches. The closed length is 4.29 inches. The blade length is 2.95 inches, which is really good for those of you who live in states where your blade has to be under 3 inches. It's not exactly a 3-inch blade. They have it just coming in slightly under that, excuse me, just for legality purposes, which is really cool. So that's nice. This one again, 20 CV, black DLC. And I like the DLC coating that Spyderco does because it's not like that shiny DLC, it's more sort of like a matte color, which looks really cool. And I've noticed on my Paramilitary 2 that I had that it sort of leaves like a little bit of a patina effect on it, which over time just kind of adds character to the knife, which is super cool. The G10 handles, pocket clip is reversible here, both tip up and tip down, although I do prefer the right side tip up carry that comes standard with it. Lock type is a compression lock, which I'm a really big fan of just because it's super fidgety. And even right out of the box, this thing's super smooth. So, I mean, it just falls shut, which is really nice. sort of angling it down, just so I can let gravity sort of do the work there. If I try to close it like this without actually putting the knife downwards away from the camera, it wouldn't be able to fall shut. And that's just because I have it horizontal to the floor. So the weight of this guy is going to be 3.4 ounces. So it's pretty light, relatively light for a knife that's actually kind of large. I'm not really saying it's like a large knife. It fits really well in the hand. But when I say large, I just mean that, you know, Spyderco with the hole that they have, just the geometry of the handle is a little bit thicker, which to me just makes it feel better in the hand. It feels like it really fits well. Of course, it's got the jimping here on the top, which is really nice. It just feels really comfortable. You can choke up on it. It's got this sort of finger indentation here, so you can really get closer to the blade edge there, or you can kind of relax and put your hand back further. It's got a big lanyard clip, or big lanyard hole, I should say, which sort of feature that I'm going to talk about here in this video, because I actually purchased some beads for this guy, and I'm going to put a lanyard on this video for you guys just to see kind of what it looks like. But I got these from a company called EDC Boos on Instagram and Facebook. But I saw this for sale on his website. Andrew is the owner there, Andrew Hamilton, really cool dude. But the color just matched so perfectly, and I'm not sure again if it's coming off on camera quite right, but these are color matched, like nearly identical. So I'm gonna go ahead and put a lanyard in these beads here, and sort of a bonus for you guys. If you don't want to stick around, that's fine. I've kind of said everything I'm gonna say about the knife, aside from like it's got the copper washers. The action's really smooth. I'm sure if you added some ball bearings on this, it would just make it that much better of an action. But I gotta say, I really don't think it needs it. I feel like when you get in there to do the Spidey flick, I mean, it just shoots out so well. The way that Spyderco has designed this knife just makes it really pleasing and fidgety and super cool. So overall, I'm really pumped that I picked up this knife. I've been dying to carry it. I've actually ordered it several months ago when I had COVID, like some of the other knives I had, and I've just been dying to do the video so that I could carry it around. The beads I bought after the fact. I bought these maybe, I don't know, 2 weeks ago or so, and they just showed up recently. So another reason why I've just been sort of dying to make this video, but with kids and the holidays and everything, I haven't really gotten around to it. I don't know if I'm going to be putting this smaller one on. I'm probably just going to put the larger one. If it was a bigger knife, I'd probably add both or something, but I just feel like 2 is maybe a bit overkill. So I'm going to go ahead and put this one on with some black paracord, and I'm going to show you guys how to do, I think it's called the snake knot. Maybe it's not. I'm not actually sure what they call this knot, but it's a pretty cool knot that you can add onto your paracord just to make it seem a little fancier and less just like a loop. So again, if you don't want to stick around for this part, totally understand, but I'm going to go ahead and put this on, show you guys how to do it as sort of an added bonus. And here we go. So I'm going to burn off these tips just to make it a little easier to thread everything through. Sort of just melting it all together. If you're not familiar with paracord, sort of gets a bit frayed when you make cuts, and so sort of melting off the edges like this, getting it all to stick together, just makes it a lot easier to work with. That way it's not just kind of frayed all over the place. So I'm going to go ahead and loop this through here first. I'm not going to put the bead on just yet. It's probably hard to see this because I'm on a black surface, sort of working with black on black here. But basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my left side, I'm going to make a loop like this, and this part of the cord is going to go on the back side. We're going to make this circle, and then the right side is going to go underneath, or inside I should say, that loop, pull it up all the way to the top, and then it's going to come back through here like this. So from there, you're basically just going to tighten it up. I'm not going to tighten it up all the way to the knife itself. I'm going to stop just before the knife to sort of give it a gap that it can sort of rotate on. But that's about it. You want to do that maybe 3 or 4 times until you like the length of it. For me, I'm probably only going to do it maybe 3 if I can get it. I'm not sure if this cord's going to be big enough. But again, I'm gonna do a loop like that with the cord going to the back. I'm gonna put this right one through that loop, pull it all the way, and then it's gonna come back through the loop in the bottom side, and we're gonna pull it together. So I'm gonna tighten that, get these real close together, and that's what that looks like so far. I'm gonna try to get one more of those before adding the bead and then tying it off. This may not be long enough, which would sort of be a fail here on my end, but just do one more and see how this turns out. Super easy to do. I'm sure you've seen this sort of knot on lanyards before. Maybe you were curious. This should kind of help you out. So from there, I'm going to put the lanyard or the bead into the paracord, get it as close as I can like this, and then I'm just going to tie this up and it'll be all finished. So again, hopefully this is long enough. It's looking like it might not be. All right, so I just redid that. I got 3 knots. I'm going to go ahead and put the bead back inside. And now we have plenty of room to tie off the end. So I'm just going to take both ends and just make a loop like that. Feed these ends through and pull it tight up against the bead there, as tight as I can get it, which is usually the hardest part for me, to get that real snug up against it. But that's it. Pull these 2 ends, tighten that knot using the bead, and then I'm going to go ahead and cut this off. And then I'm going to light these ends. That way they're not just frayed, and it also helps keep the knot together. And another added benefit, if you see that white, usually I can cover that up with the black, like that. So now that's gone. But here it is, again, one more time, with the bead, the lanyard, which is pretty cool. But here's the knife. Up against the shaman. I haven't showed you guys this shaman yet. I don't know if I'm going to be doing a video on this one. I might, I'm not sure. But this is an M4 shaman with Cutlery Shop exclusive scale swap. But here we go. Obviously the shaman is a larger knife. Not really apples to apples comparison as far as like the Paramilitary 2 and the Para 3. But I'll go ahead and open them up and show you guys anyway. Obviously the shaman is much larger. And then I've got the Benchmade bug out here. Show you guys sort of a size comparison against these. Open them up. I think these are more comparable in size. They're about identical in length, almost. The bug out's a little bit longer, a little bit thinner. But I prefer the feeling of the Para 3 over the bug out, even though I've been carrying this bug out a lot lately. But yep, there we go. Thanks again for watching. Again, if you enjoy watching this content, feel free to subscribe. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments section. And if you like the video, please leave me a like. Thanks.